Hey everybody, John Ploskina here. And first of all, just let me take a minute to say thank you for everybody who wished me well in the comments. My knee is feeling a lot better. And also thank you for your patience. I know that a lot of you don't like the podcast style episodes quite as much, and I don't either. I also prefer to appear on camera, but I just wasn't feeling up to it. A lot of the time when I was recording podcasts and while I was working and stuff, I was actually laying on the floor recently. But I'm doing much, much better now. So thank you once again. I really appreciate that any of you care enough about my opinions to come and check out my channel, and that any of you, by extension, care enough about me to wish me well with my health problems. Much obliged. So let's dig in. Let's see what's going on. There's a lot of stuff in the news that's interesting, but none of it, unfortunately, is any good. Now, you may already be aware of Jill Stein's recount and how it ultimately just resulted in 131 new votes for Donald Trump. But it turns out that it actually uncovered possible evidence of massive voter fraud in Michigan. Mostly in Detroit, of course. So out of the Detroit counties, they were unable to perform recounts in 60% of them due to irregularities. And out of those, 2/3 of them had too many votes, including one county in particular that had 306 votes when there were only 50 ballots. Now, some are speculating that this was the point of Jill Stein's recount all along, but I think you might be overthinking it a little bit. Now, I don't want you to get too excited about this or any other instances where we may finally uncover evidence of voter fraud, because nobody in the political class has any interest whatsoever in seeing it come out, because both sides are involved in stuff like this. I'll give you an example of the kind of thing that I mean. In Bladen County, North Carolina, hundreds of fraudulent mail-in ballots were discovered that appeared to have the same handwriting. And they all seem to have been submitted by one small group of people. And of course, they all seem to favor Democrat candidates in some specific local races and nationally as well. Now, Republican officials there actually joined together with Democrats in order to block a further investigation. And they did it because it didn't make sense to hold up their other races when the concern mostly seemed to be over a local election. Now, the Republicans are mixed up in voter fraud too, and this is the real reason why this isn't happening. There's mutually assured destruction, and you can almost see why. I don't know who started it, and it doesn't really matter. But probably at this point, whoever isn't engaging in some form of voter fraud just flat out isn't going to win, and there's nothing they can do about it. So at this point, restoring the integrity of our system of voting is going to fall to citizen political activists in their individual states, because the parties aren't going to help and the federal government isn't going to help, and I think can't help constitutionally too much. Now, I know that these are uphill battles, but I really care, and I hope that a lot of you out there care too, because if we all get involved in these kind of grassroots efforts, we can make some changes and improve things. So I'll let you know how I do. I'm going to keep you guys updated. I will, whatever political activism I end up getting involved with here in Pennsylvania, I will cover extensively on my YouTube channel, both because I think it'll be interesting, and also because I want to inspire others to get involved in their states. So meanwhile, the left and the GOP establishment are uniting in their common cause of opposing Donald Trump and pushing this Russian hacking bullcrap non-story on everybody. So John McCain, who already did his part to try to make sure that the Republicans never capture the White House again by running one of the most incompetent presidential campaigns of my lifetime, if not all of human history, is now coming forward to say that Russian hacking and involvement in the U.S. election is a form of warfare. And fellow useless rhino Lindsey Graham has come forward to say that his campaign was hacked 3 months ago. He just felt like it wasn't worth mentioning until now. And the, quote, mainstream media, unquote, is uniting behind these assertions in spite of the fact that there's no evidence whatsoever, and the Obama administration has been caught consistently politicizing government offices, like when they use the IRS to lash out at their political opponents and hinder conservative nonprofit organizations in the lead up to the 2012 election, or when they blatantly refuse to prosecute criminals like illegal aliens and Hillary Clinton. To be 100% honest with you, I trust WikiLeaks a lot more than I trust the Obama administration, which isn't saying a whole lot. But Craig Murray, a former ambassador for Britain and somebody who now works with WikiLeaks, has come out to definitively say that it was an inside source who had legal access to the emails and not Russian hackers who provided this information for WikiLeaks. So according to them, regardless of whether Russia hacked the DNC or not, that isn't where WikiLeaks got the information. And the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, which oversees all 7 of these intelligence agencies that are part of the federal government, he said that there's no conclusive proof that Russia tried to swing the election for Hillary Clinton. And now the Clinton campaign has broken its silence. John Podesta has slithered back out into public to issue a statement on the campaign's behalf, demanding that Obama release all this intelligence related to Russian hacking with the election. I think it's safe to say that probably won't be forthcoming. I don't think that there is any. This is all just FUD. This is all an attempt to keep these kind of stories in the news, to demoralize Trump supporters, to delegitimize a Trump victory, and to build up inertia in the government so that they all have their ducks in a row and they're ready to sit down and just completely fight his agenda in every possible way that they can. And it could also be a build-up to this attempt to harass the unbound delegates, the people who theoretically could change their vote to vote for Hillary Clinton or not vote for Donald Trump, whatever it needs to be to just gum up the works and make sure that things don't go smoothly on the 19th. So Alex Jones has started to throw around the coup word, and so has the Wall Street Journal, surprisingly, and a few others. But I don't know how apt that is, because a coup is a violent attempt to seize power, and this is more insidious than that. I wonder if we need a new term of art to describe this, because the establishment clearly doesn't want to let go of power. They don't want to transition power to Donald Trump if there's any way that they can help it. And this mainstream media, these media outlets that have been consistently proven to collaborate with the political campaigns directly, are helping out in this. They've basically become a propaganda arm for this ousted government that's trying to find some way to hold on to power or to seize power again as quickly as humanly possible. And it's creepy to me because they were quiet for a while. They went off and took a break. George Soros came into the country and met with some top leading Democrats, and now they're coming out with all of this stuff. So they had their planning phase, they figured out what they wanted to do, and now they're executing. It's ugly, and I'm concerned that there may be another shoe that's getting ready to drop. Because we saw during the sexual assault allegations that the campaign and the media will collude to present a narrative. We all remember how they built up the sexual assault allegations, how it started with just rumors here and there. It started with things like women just saying that Trump said things that made them feel bad, but over time, as the election drew nearer, it slowly built up. And I'm worried that we're going to see something like that there's going to be at least one more big story that comes out and throws a big monkey wrench into everything, either the day of the Electoral College finalization or leading up to it somehow. So like I said, there's lots of troubling stuff happening. Lots of creepy things going on in the news, and I'm keeping my eye on it. And I really appreciate when you alert viewers, leave me notes in the comments to let me know things that I might have missed, or if you see something in the videos that you want to comment on. I love it. To me, having this all be a big conversation is a big part of why I do what I'm doing. And it's audience participation. So also, I wanted to leave you real quick with another note to please consider following me, not just here on YouTube, but also on Gab and Minds. Because YouTube and Reddit and Facebook are starting to crack down more and more on alternate media, really on Trump supporters generally, but specifically on what they're calling fake news. People like me, citizen journalists who are just trying to put information out there and trying to get conversations going. And that's really unfortunate. Our relationships with each other are the most important things that we have right now, because in this crisis of journalism where we can't rely on the traditional outlets to give us unbiased information, or really any information at all, we really need each other. And they will try to disrupt that, they will try to destroy that, they will try to take that away. And so we need to be able to start to, I'm not saying don't use YouTube and don't use Facebook. They're crucial tools. But at the same time, we need to expand. We need to make sure that we have also networks that are set up on these other sites like Gab and Minds that are specifically created to be outlets for free speech. And not like Facebook and not like Reddit and not like YouTube, where they're colluding with these giant corporations to just try and make as much money as humanly possible. And I'm actually going to make, I think, a video specifically about these crackdowns against free speech that are coming on these social media platforms. I think that's something that everybody needs to get involved in and stay on top of. That's something that could get very bad and something that we need to stay aware of. But for now, that's all I got. I really appreciate it as always. So thank you very much. Maybe if this is your first time watching, consider checking out some of my other videos and maybe subscribing and sticking around for a while. But other than that, it's a harsh world out there, my friends. So please, as always, keep thinking. Bye-bye.